because I didn't have travel insurance. I wasn't really getting much treatment in the US. So we decided to come back to Australia where we have universal healthcare, and we took a medivac flight back. And because I didn't have travel insurance, we couldn't go private. Private was over 200,000 USD. So we took the other option, which is 80,000. It's a commercial flight. It was in economy class. I took up 3 rows of seats, and they put me on a stretcher and placed me on top of the seats. So my face was right under the luggage lockers, and 2 nurses flew all the way back with me. So it was a 30-hour flight. I'm in a stretcher, in adult diapers, and I told the nurses not to feed me because I didn't want to crap myself and stink up the plane. So I didn't have anything for 30 hours. There was a layover in Korea, and when we arrived in Sydney, they disembarked the whole plane. I was the only one left. And then they dragged me down the aisle because the stretcher couldn't fit through the aisles, narrow aisles, and there was a stretcher there waiting. And then they had one of those elevated trucks that deliver the food trolleys normally. So they bring it up to the plane, push me into that truck, and then drive me just to the side where there was an ambulance waiting. Funny story, on the ambulance to the hospital, the nurses they were talking about, they had a pouch of drugs in the pack, hydromorphone, which is like stronger than morphine, and they were pumping me the whole flight all the way to Sydney because they've heard of the Australian customs, how strict they are, and they were worried about the drugs, so they just pumped me full of drugs. So I was all juiced up and quite happy. And since I'm here, I might as well shout out the frontline heroes that are fighting this war at the moment. It's one in 100-year pandemic, and the frontline and the hospital workers that saved my life in Vegas. Just an observation from personal experience. My 2-month hospital stay in the US was over 2 million USD. And in Australia, I stayed a further 7.5 months with full operations, drugs, scans, physio. And when we left the hospital, there was no bill, zero. Universal healthcare. So for my US friends out there, vote for someone that's going to give you universal healthcare. Sorry guys, I don't have pictures for most of my journey. I was too busy fighting for my life, so you have just stock images. And the reason why I started making TikToks is my experience can help a lot of people. I had quadriplegia. I was paralyzed. Part of my brain was removed, but I managed to walk out of hospital. And I managed to walk out of hospital because it was mostly mental. I just refused to give up. Go to the bio, watch my YouTube videos. There's more information there, and send to anyone that this can help. For someone that was paralyzed to be able to walk again. I've got something that can help people. People in this situation will listen to me.